I have set the goal for myself that I want to finish my YA romantasy book by the end of the month. And by finish the book, I mean finish the first draft. We're nowhere near actually finishing it, but I am about 45,000 words through the first draft. My goal originally for this draft was to be 70,000 words. Then I lowered it down to 60,000 words. And quite frankly, I think we're gonna come in even lower than that. I just am severely underwriting this draft. How many times can I say the word draft? I'm just severely underwriting, and I know that, and I'm honestly totally okay with it. I'm trying to build a really healthy framework that I can work in the second draft to add more detail, add more context, and more complexity. I'll probably end up being around 55,000 words if I had to guess. The chapters are getting shorter and shorter as I go along. At the beginning of the manuscript, I definitely have I would say the average chapter length is between 1,500 and 2,500 words. And now that I am at the end of Act 2, Part 2, entering Act 3, the last two chapters I wrote have only been 840 words. And that's for a number of reasons. I definitely had less clarity about this part of the book, the second half of it, but also I have found that writing Act 2, Part 2 is highly uncomfortable for me, especially considering the type of bad guy I created, the type of conflict I created. I think in a lot of contemporary romances, the conflict isn't as dark or intense, but in romantasy it can definitely get more intense, and I'm just more sensitive to that. So I was honestly contemplating whether I should change the type of bad guy I created in conflict, but to be so honest, this is just what the story needs. It's the story that I had in my head and my heart, and I'm going to stick with it and just try to build up the mental and emotional fortitude to be able to write such type of content. And so I'm really skimping on those parts of the book that make me uncomfortable. Let me know, have you ever written anything that makes you kind of cringy or uncomfortable, or kind of triggers your anxiety? Let me know. I don't know if I'm alone in that. I know I'm a very sensitive girl, so yeah, I mean that's probably part of it, but I feel surely other writers have written bad guys and things that make them cringe a little bit. I think we're supposed to be a little irritated by the bad guys. I don't think it's supposed to make us feel happy when bad things are happening to our characters. So yeah, hopefully I'm not alone. Hopefully that's a semi-normal reaction to Act 2, Part 2. But with that being said, the month is going by so quickly. I had to check even what the date is. It's the 21st. I took about a week and a half break from this book. Also, if you're new here, hi, I'm Alyssa Shea. I'm currently working on my debut YA romantasy novel. As I mentioned, it involves a marriage contract and a loose love triangle. If you don't like love triangles, I think you'll still enjoy this book. It is not between two brothers. It's very clear who's gonna win in the end, and no feelings are destroyed. So as I was saying, I took about a week and a half break. I was working as a vendor at a craft fair. I had to travel out of town for it, traveled 9 hours. In fact, it took me 11 hours on the way back to get back home, which was wild. But between the crafting and actually doing the market and recovering from that and the travel, I haven't written for a week and a half. I broke that spell yesterday. So I wrote for the first time, and I wrote about 1,600 words. I wrote 2 chapters, so it was almost 1,700 words. And it felt really, really good. So I think if I can keep that momentum of just being staying in the mindset of I'm getting a framework on the page, it's not going to be full context, it's not going to be full detailed, I can really chug through, and I think that I could still hit my goal by the end of the month. Because to be honest, I was ready to give up on it and be you know what, I'll go into June with the first draft. But I just don't like the way that pushes my timeline. I would like to be done with the second draft this year and starting on the third. So I have to get going on this book. So today I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write, It is a rainy, dreary day. I'll probably hang out on the couch, but I'll take you with me and let's see how far we can get with this book so that I can be done by the end of the month. Okay, it's been an hour. I'm on the couch. I have written 411 words, and let me tell you, those words came really easily, really naturally. But then I started watching a YouTube video, and so here we are. I didn't get as much done in that hour as I feel like I could have, but I'm still happy with the progress I made because I know that like I made 99.9% of that progress in probably 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep writing, but just wanted to check in and let you know I got distracted. I would say we are officially in Act 3, and I'm so very excited about that. I'm currently writing what chapter is this? Chapter 33. My Scrivener document says I have 5 more chapters left. I have a feeling though that that's not accurate and that I probably will add some more chapters in there. But yeah, we are trucking along. They are just about to implement their plan to reach a resolution for the little bit of a predicament they're in. So I am excited to watch this pan out. I also just switched to the MMC's perspective, which I realized I went 4 chapters in the FMC's perspective, and I'm like, and the second draft, I might have to go change that. That might be a little bit too long to go. Earlier in the book, I think I was going like max 1 chapter of his for 2 of hers. It's definitely not every other, but yeah, I'm looking now and it looks like I did like 2 of hers and 1 of his. So I just kind of forgot to switch point of views, which that's just a planning error on my part. But yeah, we're chugging along, so I'm going to keep writing. It has started to rain, so I'm going to just enjoy this gloomy weather and the little puppy snoozing beside me and get to writing. It's now 11:04. I do have to leave. Poppy has a vet appointment later this afternoon, so I'll probably give myself like another hour and then take a break, get her ready to go, walk her, and head out to that. Okay. It is now Sunday. It's been a few days, and to be so honest, I'm not making as much progress towards my goal as I thought I would be, considering its lofty nature. I figured I would be writing every day, have a lot of wind in my sails, but that just honestly hasn't been the case. I've been loving cleaning my apartment. I came back from my trip and was like, I have too much stuff. I need to throw everything away. I need to reorganize. I need to make my space more creatively fulfilling and like more conducive to creative energy. And I've been leaning into the spring cleaning vibes, even though it's like almost summer. I feel like I'm a little bit late on that, but that's what I've been doing instead of writing my book. I do feel like it's been a little bit, there's been some resistance, and also I think it's been a little bit for a good reason, but also not, because I've been trying to brainstorm some ideas and I haven't really made any progress. So that's why I'm like, it hasn't been super fruitful in that sense. But something I'm discovering about myself is that I can have an outline, I can have a clear plan of action of what I think is going to unfold in the story. And then when I get to that point in the book, I'm like, wait, this isn't good. For example, as I mentioned previously, I am currently in the process of writing them getting out of this sticky situation, and the plan that is unfolding, it just feels a little bit to me in this moment like it's too easy. And that isn't something that I saw when I was outlining the project. And I'm hoping that that's something that can improve with time as I become a more experienced writer, that I can foresee those issues before I'm in the middle of them, because that's what's happening for me, is I do not have the foresight to see these problems in the outlining process. So I was trying to come up with ways to complicate their escape from this predicament, and I've come up with some ideas, but I haven't settled on any of them. So with that being said, I think I'm just going to make a note for this chapter, come back to it in draft 2, and for the purpose of momentum and getting through the draft, I'm going to continue with what was outlined and go from there. And then I can see when I'm rereading it if I still feel like it's happening too easily, because sometimes also I can have that thought and it might not be true because I'm too in the weeds, I'm too close to the project. And when you're writing a project over this far of time, this much time, it's really hard to get an understanding of pacing without like rereading it like a reader. So I'm going to write today. I'm going to get through this scene. I'm going to get through this chapter so that I can continue going and I can still make my deadline. It is now 4:39. I just had the most productive writing session, more productive than I ever imagined it could have been. I feel very content and yeah, just proud of myself for writing so much. It's kind of a mixed bag. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened. I sat down with my computer. I was still feeling a little bit hesitant about jumping into the scene. It just wasn't compelling me. I didn't have the motivation. And I remembered this tool I used to use way back in the day, like 2000s, 2010s, like that kind of era. And it was like if you stopped typing, it all disappeared, or like you lost, or something bad happened if you stopped typing. And I was like, that's the kind of motivation I need right now. Like, I just need to get the words on the page. And so I Googled, I could not find that same software. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. I could not find that same software that I used way back in the day, but I found this other one, and let me tell you, it was so good. I have some stats. I wrote 762 words in 15 minutes. I was being very conservative. I was doing 3-minute intervals of this because literally if you stopped typing, it deleted your work. And I did not want to lose any progress. So I did the shortest time possible, but I did that however many times it takes to get to 15 minutes, wrote 762 words, never lost any progress. And really it was like after that 3 minutes was up, I would copy paste my work into Scrivener and then restart again. So I really was able to go for quite a bit and do several rounds of those short little 3 minutes. After that, I took a break. Sorry, my dog is passing through again. I took a break and came back and I wrote, and I didn't keep track of time at that point. So I ended up writing for the whole session a total of 1,153 words. That puts my project total at 47,648 words, and I finished chapter 33 and I'm moving on to chapter 34. And it's actually interesting because they're still not fully out of this situation I keep referring to. So, and I'm still only writing dialogue and action. So I actually have a lot more here than maybe I anticipated. So maybe I don't need to overcomplicate it anymore, which is funny because I was just saying like, I don't know there's an issue until I get into writing, but now I've written it. I'm like, maybe there's not an issue. So I'm just gonna keep trucking along. But this all sounds like a super major win. And the only reason I mentioned that it's kind of like a little, what did I call it? A mixed bag. The only reason I said it is a mixed bag is because after I used this software, which is called Dangerous Writing App, I think is what it's called. It is hosted by Scribbler. Let me verify all this information I'm telling you right now because I'm like just talking and I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, I was right. Dangerous Writing App, Scribbler. After I used this, I looked at Scribbler's website and I realized what they are. They're an AI tool that helps people write full-length novels and screenplays. And they just happen to host this software that is this little like gamified way of writing a book. I'm writing everything obviously in this tool because the whole point is to keep me writing, and if I stop, my work deletes. But I was like, wait, this is an AI tool at large. That's primarily what this company does. It just so happens to host this tool on their site. So now I'm like, I tried to Google whether or not they store or use what you wrote in the Dangerous Writing app platform, and I tried to see if that informs their AI tool, and basically I couldn't find any information on it. So I do not like that, and I will not use it again for that reason, which is...
Oh my goodness, you Tay!
I will not use it again for that reason, which it's very sad because it was very motivating for me, and I feel like I could finish the rest of my book so quickly if I just used that dang tool. However, it is not worth the risk for me to continue using it. One, I don't want to help make that AI tool more educated. I don't want it to use my ideas or my content. It's literally helping people write books. So yeah, I just don't want to be a part of that, which is a shame because I think this tool that is not AI, that they just happen to host, is really beneficial and really useful. And I tried to see, yeah, I don't know. That was disappointing to me. But I did have a really productive writing session today as a result of it. So for that, I'm grateful. Hopefully it got me over that hump. We'll see if I can maintain that momentum without it. But it was a really fun find. I really enjoyed it until I started to have doubts about it and second guess maybe how the data is handled. If anybody has an inside scoop, let me know, because if it's completely separate and not an issue, I would be happy to use the tool further. I don't want to use it if it's at all connected with the whole AI situation they have going on. With that being said, a successful day. I never thought it would go that easily or that swiftly, so I'm grateful. I am going to end this video here, but I'm going to start another video right away so that you can catch the end of my journey of trying to finish this book and see how it goes. I need to pick up the pace. Quite honestly, it is May 24th, and that means, are there 31 days? There are 31 days. I have exactly a week. It is Sunday today, and next Sunday is the end of the month. So I have 1 week to finish this book, and I'm going to do it. To me, it doesn't even feel optional. Like, I'm going to get it done. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, and I'm going to go see Alex Warren in concert, but I do still plan to write before that. I'll have all day until the concert. And yeah, I have plans on the 30th, that Saturday, before the end of the month, but I think there's plenty of time to get this done, especially if every day goes as smoothly as today. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see whether or not I finished this book, subscribe. And I just want to thank you all for being here. It means the world. I love spending this time with you. I'll see you next time.